There are changes in a human face that do not arrive with noise. No sudden turning point. No dramatic moment that divides life into before and after. Only small movements, repeated quietly, day after day, almost invisible, until one day, a reflection appears in glass or in a photograph, and something feels unfamiliar, not entirely different, but shifted, subtly, irreversibly. Imagine a cliff of ancient stone, layer upon layer of sediment pressed together over time, each one formed under a different sky, a season of rain, a stretch of drought, a slow retreat of the sea. Nothing happens all at once, but after years, after centuries, a structure emerges, a shape that tells a story, without words. The human face is not so different. It is not fixed. It is not simply inherited and preserved. It is shaped by posture, by breath, by sleep, by repeated patterns of thought. Every day adds a layer, thin, barely noticeable, but over time, undeniable. And most of those layers are formed without awareness. Morning begins. A body leans forward slightly. Shoulders collapse inward. The neck extends toward a screen. It feels normal. It feels comfortable. But in reality, it is a quiet form of compression. The lungs have less space to expand. Breathing becomes shallow. Air enters, but not deeply. And with each shortened breath, oxygen delivery shifts. The face changes subtly. The eyes lose clarity. The jaw tightens without intention. Expression flattens, as if dimmed. Nothing dramatic occurs. No alarm. No immediate pain. Only a slow accumulation of reduced vitality. Posture is not just structure. It is a message, sent before words, before action, before explanation. A body that opens and a body that closes do not receive the same response from the world, and the shift required is small. Not force, not strain, only awareness, repeated again and again. When light fades, another process begins. Not simple rest. Reconstruction. Cells repair. Inflammation decreases. The nervous system recalibrates. In darkness, the next version of the face is prepared. But when sleep is shortened, the process is interrupted. Incomplete repair accumulates. Under-eye shadows deepen. Skin loses brightness. The face carries a lingering weight of fatigue. What makes this dangerous is adaptation. The body adjusts. A suboptimal state becomes familiar. Familiar becomes normal. And once something feels normal, it is no longer questioned. No sharp signal of decline, only a gradual shift that continues. A single thought leaves no trace. But repetition creates form. Each time the brow tightens, a line is drawn. Each time the lips press together, tension is recorded. Each time the eyes narrow, structure begins to form. One instance, nothing. 10 instants, still invisible. But thousands, over years, the face begins to remember. This is not age alone. This is pattern. There are faces that carry tension, even in stillness. And there are faces that remain neutral, even under pressure. The difference is not circumstance. It is repetition. Thought moves downward, into muscle, into breath, into the nervous system, and over time, into visible structure. A meal can unfold in silence, slow, deliberate, present, or it can happen elsewhere. Eyes on a screen, hands moving automatically, attention divided. Food enters the body, but awareness does not. When eating becomes unconscious, it becomes reflex, not choice. And where choice disappears, control follows. The body responds not only to nutrients, but to the way those nutrients are received. Conscious action creates one pattern, automatic behavior creates another, and those patterns extend outward, into energy, into posture, into presence. A glowing screen. Images move endlessly. Curated fragments of life, edited, filtered, selected. Each exposure triggers comparison, quietly, automatically. No words, but a subtle shift appears. The forehead tightens, the eyes narrow slightly, the mouth firms into stillness. A baseline expression forms, not intense, but persiste, acquiert de satisfaction. And over time, that expression remains, even when the screen is gone. A figure enters a space. Steps are short, movements restrained, arms close to the body. Nothing is visibly wrong, but nothing is fully expressed. Another figure moves differently. Steps are measured, gestures clear, space is occupied naturally. The difference is not physical form, it is distribution of energy. Body language is structure. Lines and angles forming a pattern, an open structure and a closed one. And the world responds to structure. Before meaning, a hand rises to the face. Again and again, a foot vibrates under stillness. Fingers tap without pause. These are small movements, but constant, like ripples on water, revealing motion beneath the surface. They do not only reflect internal state, they reinforce it. A loop forms. Movement sustains tension. Tension demands movement. Breaking the loop does not require force, only interruption. A pause, a breath. A body without enough water does not fail immediately. There is no sudden collapse, only reduction. Skin loses elasticity, eyes lose clarity, lips dry and tighten, gradually, like land losing moisture, until cracks begin to appear, not from complexity, from absence of the most basic element. Shallow breathing maintains alertness. Even without threat, the system remains activated. Neck muscles tighten, the jaw engages, the chest does not fully open, the face follows, closed, guarded. But breath can shift everything. Slow, deep, measured. No thought required, no external change, just rhythm. And the system adjusts. Morning light, unfiltered, direct. It does more than illuminate. It calibrates sleep cycles, energy levels, awareness. Without it, internal rhythms drift, not drastically, but enough. And enough, repeated, becomes visible. A dullness, a dimming, a face disconnected from natural timing. None of these elements are dramatic. No single habit transforms everything overnight. No instant reversal. Only accumulation, a corrected posture, a protected night of sleep, a conscious breath, a moment of awareness, repeated, again and again, like water moving across stone. Slow, but continuous, and over time, shape changes, not from addition, but from removal. Excess tension fathers. Unnecessary patterns dissolve. What remains is clearer, more stable, more aligned with the way life is actually lived. Change does not begin with action. It begins with seeing. Without distortion, without excuse, a moment of recognition. Not dramatic, but precise. A realization that the face, the body, the presence are not separate from daily behavior. They are the result of it. And once that is seen, choice becomes possible. The process does not require perfection, only consistency. First, awareness. Checking posture throughout the day, observing breath, noticing tension. Then, replacement. Interrupting automatic reactions, choosing different responses. Then, integration. Combining small adjustments into a rhythm. Sleep, hydration, movement, stillness. And finally, identity. No longer habits to follow, but a way of operating, a system that sustains itself. At first, nothing seems different. Days pass, then weeks. Subtle shifts begin. The face appears more awake. The eyes hold more steadiness. The body occupies space more naturally. Others may notice, but more importantly, the internal state stabilizes. There is less noise, less tension, more clarity. Not perfection, but alignment. There is no final moment, no clear end, only continuation. Small actions, repeated, layers forming. Over time, and one day, the reflection changes. Not dramatically, but unmistakably. A face that carries less strain, a presence that requires less effort, a structure shaped not by impulse, but by awareness. And in that quiet transformation, something becomes evident. The way a life is lived does not stay hidden. It is written, slowly, across the surface, for those who look closely enough to see.